white folks. Now, the reason behind this podcast is because I always think before I let somebody else define me, I'm going to define myself. So before anyone comes along and says, Rise and Grind is racist or whatever, I figured, hey, it's in my head. I better get to it. So here's what it is. First of all, I don't have any like or dislike for white people in general. As a black man in this country and all over the world, a lot of our trials and tribulations are related to white people. Period. That's the truth. That's not somebody making up some imaginary story. So if the Jews feel that the Germans caused them a setback or a problem, then it must be crazy for the black man not to recognize that the white people have caused him a problem and continue to do so to this day. All of the legislation that you see in the government is because black people had to semi-force white people to somewhat be fair, and they don't always agree with that even to this day. You understand what I'm saying? That they say, if you live it to yourself, we'll do it ourselves. We did, and it didn't happen. So when you hear me talk about white people in general, because I know some of y'all are white and y'all listen, and I don't have no beef, but it's not like I'm running to shake motherfuckers' hands either. I am black. I am part of this tribe. I'm African American and African on a bigger scale. And so, wherever black people dwell in Bell, I'm home. Whether that be Caribbean, whether that be Australian, whether that be, Canadian, I don't care where I am. If it's black people, I feel just fine. So I identify with my tribe. Now, the main thing I wanted to get out to this is because I saw something on the news the other day, and it always bugs me. And I wanted to put it out so cats would know. You don't know. There's always a couple of intelligent brothers who think that, we should overcome and move forward. You know what I mean? And they always try to, what I consider to be, sympathize and make people feel that things are getting better. If a motherfucker cut you on the wrist, and even though you have a scar, you know what I'm saying? It got better because you healed yourself, not because the other motherfucker came and corrected the problem. So since the problem is never going to be corrected, there is no 40 acres and a mule. There is no shit coming back, homie. You know what I'm saying? And you know that deep in your heart. You know that. Now, whether these weird motherfuckers always trying to do some kumbaya shit because they don't want to be frank and be a man when you say, hey, it's the way shit is. I always think I have unique insight just by anyone who grew up in a gang neighborhood. I grew up with motherfuckers who didn't like me right across the goddamn street for no reason. So racism isn't something new. You know what I mean? Or people not liking me for no fucking reason ain't new to me. So I take it in stride. You know what I'm saying? If you really want to do something, then I guess we got to handle it. But other than that, I ain't even worried about it. Now, on a bigger scale, it's something to worry about because your employers are most likely white. Your person who signs your loans is white. The person at the bank is white. You understand what I'm saying? So as a black man, we have an issue with white people in general. And I don't like that some cats get on the TV and tell other people that we should all think the same way or something. No, we can't. I don't know, and you don't know, what drove me to this point of putting out this kind of podcast or talking about these issues or having a very pro-black undertone to what I'm doing. There must be a cause. You dig what I'm saying? There must be a reason. You understand what I'm saying? But I don't go into in depth about this shit because I've been dealing with racism all the way up the ladder. You understand what I'm saying? From the cops hog tying me in Compton when I was 15 to the schools thinking that, you know what I'm saying, that's good for a black person, to white people at law school saying, I'm taking some other motherfucker's place. You know what I'm saying? To going to the bank, cashing my checks, and motherfuckers thinking like I'm a talking mule or something. It must be weird to see a black man with money. You know what I'm saying? To dealing with Jewish people. And I don't make no classification about white. If you're Jewish, you're white to me. I don't give a fuck about all that dumbass shit. I don't think there's a black man that walks down the street and someone says he's Jamaican, he's different. No one gives a fuck. So why should I treat anyone better? Also, let me give you a little bit more historical context. I'm not a Bible believer, as most of you cats know. So I don't believe in that treat your, neighbor like you. I don't believe in that shit. You come hostile, I end you hostile. You understand what I'm saying? I ain't playing none of that dumb shit where we're trying to treat others like you would want to be treated. That shit don't work either. So, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to put that in context for you. That's why you'll never hear me say that kumbaya shit and all this crazy shit that every other motherfucker say. But on point, what I wanted you to understand is, who am I to tell you, black man, how you should feel when it comes to white people? I don't know the wrongs they did to you or your family. I know the wrongs they did to me and mine. Your reactions might not be like mine. You know what I mean? I can't tell you that you should be lighthearted. I can't tell you that you shouldn't stop them motherfuckers if you felt like it. Who am I to tell you? You know what I mean? To what degree does this shit bother you? You understand what I'm saying? It affects you in business. It affects you in hustle. You know, the whole idea of hustle realistically is making money without other people, and these other people are white. Knowing how you getting down, how you got over, so it is another cause and effect. Because if it was normal means that we can make money, normal means that when you walked into a job you didn't have to, you know what I mean, somewhat feel, hey, they might just not like me because I'm black, which happens. You know what I'm saying? They might not want me to be up front because white people in general don't respect the black man talking. Barack Obama deals with this shit every day. You know what I mean? They don't put a lot of black people on movies or whatever because black people don't sell to white people. Now, we all know this shit, right? We all know that this is what's really going down, but we act like it ain't. And then you got young motherfuckers that come along in the game and, you know, racism is dying. No, it ain't. You don't got no motherfucking money in your pocket, young partner. You a fool. Motherfucker ain't stopping you from playing jacks in the goddamn, what's that called? Wait till the chips on the line. Racism got nothing to do with your bitch ass playing basketball. Maybe back in the 60s, you know what I'm saying, it was access, but now, hey man, that shit is motherfuckers steadily trying to make sure you don't win. And it's intentional. It ain't no faggot shit like most of these motherfuckers, they're ignorant. It ain't got nothing to do with ignorance. Ignorance got nothing to do with a motherfucker stopping you from moving forward. That ain't ignorance. Ignorance wouldn't know what the fuck you doing to stop you. So on point, again, the thing I want you to know is, who am I to tell you, black man, how you should go about handling this shit? You know what I'm saying? No matter what, I'm black, so I feel it. This is why the podcast seems different. This is why the conversation has a tinge to it. This is why the hustle has a little bit deeper meaning. You understand what I'm saying? Because I ain't trying to tell you how to make money, like how to win friends and influence people, or 7 successful highly habits of faggots. I don't give a fuck about that. Black man, I'm telling you how to gear up and get your own shit, despite them. You understand what I'm saying? And it is despite them, because the higher you get up in this game, the more they showing up. You understand what I'm saying? The more you need $1 million loan, the more the white bank gonna say, we don't know. You understand what I'm saying? So there isn't a glass ceiling. There's a glass ceiling if you begging. There ain't no glass ceiling if you hustling, but it don't mean you ain't gonna run into the adversaries of what you trying to do. The black man being in this country is in an adversarial position. Your what's that called? Your triumphs, your wins, your history is all full of triumphs over white people. I mean, you know that. That is, when the motherfucker ran the Olympics, he beat white people. Jesse Owens. When the first motherfucker to run somebody's bank, his first motherfucker to run the bank, when the white people let him run the bank. Everything about who you are, it has to do with white people. And to deny that and act like it's not part of your history or part of what you deal with on a daily basis would just be, I guess, what they got you doing in church. Going against your natural self, going against what you see with your own eyes and how you piece together the game. But who am I to tell you that you should react like me? You might not want to react like me. That'd be a lot more of a problem. You know what I mean? I'm a confronter of these issues. I'm not a runner from these issues. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not going to sit down and say, how can we bring people together? I don't give a fuck. Die off. If you cross me wrong, you know what I'm saying? We're going to have to deal with it. I'm not one of those peacemakers, man. What is it? Blessed be the peacemaker. Is that another motherfucking dumbass shit in the Bible? Blessed be the peacemakers. Motherfucker. White people wrote the book and told you to be peaceful when they fuck with you. This shit is nuts. But I wanted to get into mainly that you need to understand that I'm not the person who's going to sit here and tell you how you react to it. And I think it's wrong for any black man to tell another black man how he should go about this life when it comes to dealing with racism, white people in general. You know what I'm saying? I have what people may consider to be white friends. I call them white associates. In order to be friends, you have to trust them. I don't trust them. Is that hate? No. You know what I mean? Would I put them in a position to trust for my family and my shit? No. Is that hate? You know what I'm saying? If I'm sitting at a bar and one of them say, hey, you know, nice watch, what happened before? Do I say, fuck you, Whitey? I don't say that shit. You know what I'm saying? If I go to a Laker game or something, you know what I'm saying? A Raider game up in Oakland, there's white guys sitting next to, I say, no, I don't got no beef like that. But in his heart and in my heart, we know there's an issue and we try not to avoid, run into it. And this shit will never die. It won't. I don't care how many black people sleep with white women and have, mixed kids. It ain't gonna die. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how many motherfuckers believe in the same white Jesus they believe in. It ain't gonna die. This is something that's on the table for us forever. And you'll have to win despite them. You'll have to create your own banks, your own TV stations, everything. Now we got a good chunk of the population who believe that things are getting better because they can have a job or they can move into these neighborhoods. Why situations like Trayvon Martin, where a black guy walking down the street and a white or whatever, Mexican, white, or whatever he is, white sympathizer, jumps out and kills him. We all know it's here. Now, let me explain game to you so you understand when it comes to chips, because I gave you a little rant of the way I see the game. So if somebody ever come along and say, oh, Freedom's racist, motherfucker put a podcast talking about this shit. You can listen to it, absorb it. I got no hate, but I don't trust. I don't put them in positions to trust. I don't invite them in my house. You understand what I'm saying? That's not going to go down. I don't take a drink from motherfuckers without me seeing it. I'd rather have the beer with the top on top. You understand what I'm saying? I keep a close eye. You know what I'm saying? If I can avoid dealing with that situation, I would. Let me give you an example that I use for one of my buddies who's a preacher, pastor. And I always say, if you were walking down the street and there was a pit bull, right? And the pit bull ran towards the gate, right? And you got scared and you said, okay, you made it, but thank God he didn't come out and kill you. The next day, you would walk across the street when that pit bull probably, even if you didn't see the motherfucker, you would walk across the street. Because God told you don't put yourself in situations where that kind of shit can go down. You don't trust that fence. That the dog's gonna be held behind that fucking fence. So you make adjustments to your life to make sure you're not near that fence. So in the situation dealing with white folks, I don't think majority of them are bad, but I think they have a gang mentality. And sometimes when the gang mentality goes down, motherfuckers, even the motherfuckers who don't mean you no harm get ran over. They not jumping up trying to protect you. So that fence of these nice whites, as you like to call them, or friends to the blacks, all this dumb shit y'all motherfuckers saying, that fence ain't gonna hold up. So when you hear me talk about what black people need to do, I don't put anything negative about white people. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck, man. If they come up front, gotta get dealt with. But majority of them ain't worried about you, and we should choose not to be worried about them. But it is baked into our success. It's baked into how we go about life. Because until we get our own shit, we will have to deal with the white people's own shit. You dig? And who am I, again, for the umpteenth time, to tell you, black man, that this is how you should react this way. Like we can write a book. You understand what I mean? That everyone should follow. You got blacks in corporate America who dealing with shit. You got blacks who working in the warehouse dealing with shit. You got blacks who got their own business dealing with this shit. And if it was something that was so small, we wouldn't all know. We wouldn't all relate to each other. You understand what I'm saying? You wouldn't relate to me if you didn't feel and sense the same thing, or this shit happened to you, or you heard about it. So it's important that we don't deny what's already there. It's important in business that you don't deny what's there. This is why I tell you just to do the transaction and get about your business, man. Man, you gotta act Korean on these motherfuckers. You gotta act like we a whole different culture, in which we are a whole different culture. You know what I mean? And we only here to conduct business. We don't want to break bread. You know what I'm saying? You got motherfuckers out here playing golf for no fucking reason, but for some faggot ass dude, Chauncey to the game, told you, you know, when you in business with who? Do you see black people in business playing golf? Chinese people playing golf? Mexicans playing golf? Who's playing golf? White people. But you want to disguise it as business. I understand. When you hear a faggot and a coward speak, homie, you're always trying to make it look like this would just be the smart thing to do. He's saying, in real words, if you boil down the bullshit, you got to strip the meat off the bones and get to the core of what this motherfucker talking about. He's saying in order to be more appealing to white folk, you need to learn this. You need to speak this. You need to eat this. You need to walk this way. You don't need to associate. I wouldn't listen to rap. I listen to classical music. Everything besides be yourself. And then they want to act like, oh, white folks, you know, we're cool with them. What the fuck? You adjusting your whole life to try to be around these motherfuckers. So who am I to tell you how you should handle this shit? It's why I don't jump on people you may call bougie. It's why I don't jump on people that I think are kind of weird going about saying the same shit white people say in order to help black people. That's why I don't jump on them. I use it as an abstract. I don't use no names. I don't know how that brother's going about his day and building his game. You know what I'm saying? And when someone like me or someone with a more aggressive, I don't want to call it militant. Militant always make it sound like I'm gearing up to bomb motherfuckers. Aggressive. I am an aggressive man. I come from an aggressive background. I had to build shit for myself. What do you think comes from that aggression? Aggressiveness. You know what I mean? It has nothing to do with white folks. It's got a lot to do with me having to buck the trends to get here, to push myself to get here. So when an aggressive person speaks about white people, because I'm not saying, well, you know, in due time, and let me throw in one of my favorite things. You know, in Black history, there's always this thing like, we shall overcome someday. That fucking song bothers me to no degree, to no end. Like, we shall overcome, meaning when white people feel the need to accept us, we will be okay. What kind of fucking plan is that? What kind of leadership is that to say that one day when white people realize the errors of their ways, we're gonna be free? What kind of dumb slave feel, cowardly, I ain't in control of myself, please help me pee, tell me when the shit convict angle to these chips are they on? I just want you to know that when you hear, I mean, your ears got to get ready for this kind of shit when you hear the cowards speak, homie. You know what I mean? But it's in the air, homie. It's part of what you do. And these chips don't come here with a fight, without a fight. So what they do is they take young cats like me and you, who are a little bit more aggressive, and they try to have our own people push us down. You shouldn't be this way. You know, you shouldn't lift weights and look strong. You should look frail. You know, you should smile more. The fuck am I? I'm a weak motherfucker with no opinion who's smiling. What am I? Like some little girl? You want me to assume the position of a fucking little girl? You gotta piece together what a coward says sometimes. You understand what I'm saying? So keep adding the shit up. That motherfucker want me to be skinny. He want me to not lift weights. I'm gonna look too strong. Okay. He don't want me to speak about black things. Okay. He don't want me to, you know, to have any kind of connection with black folks. Okay. You know what I'm saying? He want me to be kind of docile. Okay. He want me to reinforce what they like. Okay. Yeah, goddamn, you want me to be white. You know what I'm saying? Who am I to tell you, young black man, how to go about this life? It is a fight. It's not a fight with blacks and whites. It's a fight for these chips, and white people are there in the way sometimes. And I don't want to be the person who says, oh, you got to find some good white to work with. Right? This is dumb. This is fucking dumb. So I just want you to know that I'm going to put this shit out there. I got no beef with white people, man. Go about your way. I don't trust them. Then again, I don't trust too many people. But if it was a lineup of how much I trust somebody, they would probably be at the bottom. But history shows I should put them at the bottom when it comes to black people. Now, is that hate? The history of our two groups, is that hate? Or is that the recognition that there's a dog behind a weak fence? And if I walk down this street, I better have my knife out because I'm going to gut this motherfucker if he come over this fence. Is that hate? So like I said in the beginning, this is so I could define this shit before other people define it. Before other people say he's a demagogue or whatever all these fuck ass words that y'all motherfuckers use to describe somebody who actually got an opinion and know what they mean and mean what they say. Next time, partner.